Hi, this is Frode, and welcome to Actualize Notes TV, where I deliver 5 big ideas that we can use to actualize our potential, and I give you some tips on how you can apply the ideas. Today we have another great book, Self-Reliance and Other Essays, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Self-Reliance and Other Essays, and as the title suggests, it contains Ralph Waldo Emerson's essay on self-reliance, and a bunch of other ones, including history, experience, and more. Ralph Waldo Emerson was born in 1803 and was an American essayist, poet, and lecturer who was revered as being a champion of individualism and a critique against the pressures of society, something he expressed through dozens of essays and over 1,500 lectures around the USA. And I found most of these ideas in the essay on self-reliance. So if you like this video, I could recommend that you only read that essay. But of course it's up to you. So you can either buy Self-Reliance or Self-Reliance and Other Essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson, if you enjoy. And if you're into confidence, non-conformity, and expressing the highest version of yourself, then you'll love the book. With that, let's get started with the first big idea, which is trust thyself. This is what I really find to be the core of his essay. He has a quote that I really love. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Stephen Guise echoes the same wisdom in How to Be an Imperfectionist, where he talks about the subject of approval. And he says, don't seek approval from others, or you'll never have approval for yourself. And this is, of course, easier in theory than in practice, but one way I have been breaking away from the approval from others is by starting these YouTube videos. I didn't have a lot of experience with teaching and personal development in general. I have just been reading a lot for several years right now. I've been testing a lot of techniques in personal development. But I didn't really seek any approval from others to start teaching it. Because I know that as I teach more and more, I get better and better, and I'll be able to provide more and more value. So I need to trust myself and that what I'm doing is right. Which brings me over to you. Do you have a notion of what you truly want to do with your life right now, but you're only half-heartedly going at it? Is this the time to step up and express your highest potential and really go for it and trust that what you're doing is right? Remember, trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Second big idea, conformity. The definition of to conform is to be the same as or similar to something. And which basically means that you do what everyone else around you does, just because you think it is right. And but Ralph says that he who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. Something that I think he meant that instead of if you want to do something truly great, we need to let go of the common notions of what people think is good or bad, right or wrong, and instead look to see if it's actually so with our own eyes. And he has another quote to describe this. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Stephen Pressfield echoes the same wisdom in The Warrior Ethos, where he says that the hardest thing in the world is to be ourselves. Who are we? Our family tells us. Our society tells us. Laws and customs tell us. But what do we say? So what do you say? Who are you? Don't be a nonconformist. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Look to see if something's good or bad, right or wrong. And concrete example of this is that somebody might come and tell you that yeah, you should go for that grade. I heard the pay is good if you finish that business MBA or that psychology degree. But another question you could ask yourself is, is this really what I want to do with my life? Is this the contribution that I'm here to make and that I feel I am called to do? Remember, integrity of your own mind. Don't be a conformist. Third big idea, foolish consistency. Having a foolish consistency means that if you had an opinion yesterday and you get more information and which would have changed your opinion, you still have the same opinion today. In other words, you are locked to your opinions about things, even if you're given more and more valuable information about what's right. A really mundane example is that one place I read that if that coffee is bad for you. Another place I read another day that coffee is good for you, and 3 cups a day and more is good. But if I had a foolish consistency, this would mean, since I heard that coffee was bad for you first, that I would never drink coffee, even if I got really convincing studies that it's good for you. Or I could just take the easy approach and conform to what everyone else does. Others drink coffee, then I do so too. Others do not, then I won't either. And this, the common theme here is that we need to be open-minded to new information. And open-heartedness, the ability, openness to experience, is really one of the core, most important ideas in the book, The Tao Te Ching, that I read yesterday. It was a really great book, which I'll cover in the future. And so, I ask you, where have you been a bit rigid in your opinions, even if you have gotten more information about what may be right, other from the opinion you all first had? Fourth big idea, virtue, vice. Ralph Emerson teaches us that the strength of character we have is not proven through grandiose decisions like I'm going to start a business, I'm going to change my jobs, I'm going to move to a new country. But rather, he says, virtue or vice, emit a breath every moment. Which basically means that we do immoral, moral virtue or vice, immoral behavior each and every moment. We do something good or bad, something that's in line with our highest potential, or something just to get by, every moment. The humanistic psychologist Abraham Maslow echoes the same wisdom in Toward a Psychology of Being, where he says, if we do something we are ashamed of, it registers to our discredit, minus. And if we do something honest or fine or good, it registers to our credit, plus. And the net result, he says, will be that we either despise ourselves or we respect or love ourselves. Also, Brian Johnson echoes the same wisdom in A Philosopher's Notes, where he asks, why not think arete? Live at your highest potential, moment to moment to moment. Not in the mood? Fine, then live it with regret, anxiety or disillusionment. Your call. And the last connection I want to make is Tom Rath in Eat, Move, Sleep talks about net gains and net losses. Every time you put something in your mouth that is good for your health, it is a net gain. For example, this could be coffee. Or every time you put something that's not healthy in your mouth, it is a net loss. This could be coffee with cream. So, therefore, every single choice we make gives us a chance to step up to our highest potential. And for example, go for a run or not. Do read a good book or watch a TV marathon. And eat some healthy food or just go order something at the pizza store. Okay, let's make this really practical. What's one thing you can improve on by 1% regarding your most important goal? Me? I have chosen to read without a hurry this week, to try it out and see if I get a deeper understanding, rather than just trying to get through the book. The fifth big idea is life is uncalculable. When we plan our futures, it often doesn't turn out like we thought it should. And Ralph has a great quote to describe this. He says, "Life is uncalculated and uncalculable. The years teach much, which the days never knew." In other words, we can gather up lessons from our past through looking at the previous years, but we often wouldn't think that we have learned anything real by going through the separate days. And I have a story to do as an example. About a year ago, I met an NLP trainer and coach, and we had a meeting. We decided to start a business together, and we were really fired up about it. But suddenly he got busy with building his house out, and during that time I got a lot of spare time. During that spare time, I discovered what Brian Johnson did at Optimize.me. He read books, shared ideas from books, and helped people actualize with those ideas. And I figured out that I was just so inspired that I had to figure out a way to do the same. So, long story short, first I had calculated to go all in on the NLP business with the guy I had a meeting with. But then, after 6 months of doing this work, I got more into feeling that this is the work I am born to do, what I really want to do with my life. This is the contribution I'm here to make. Help people actualize, create a better world together with them. So, I turned down the business opinion and instead chose to put my soul into this work. Now I'm curious, what has happened in your life that was not calculated by you? What has the years taught you that your days never knew? Well, that was Life is Uncalculable. Virtue or vice, emit a breath every moment. Fullest consistency is being close to new opinions when you gather new information. Conformity. Be a nonconformist. Nothing is at least sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Explore if something is right or wrong, good or bad, yourself, without always listening to others and believing them wholeheartedly. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Well, that was a super quick look at Self-Reliance and Other Essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Wish I could interview him, but unfortunately I cannot. But what is the one idea that jumped out at you? And how can you make it a more practically embodied part of you starting today? Well, I hope you enjoyed and that you continue to actualize your potential so we can create a better world together. Thanks for watching. Have another awesome day. See ya.